Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this very special report. Tonight, of course, Trudeau revokes the Emergency Act. With me tonight, you can find Janine at Sending Ravens here on YouTube and also on her Tarot by Janine. Janine, welcome back.
Hi, everybody.
And you can find also Julie at Maison Jupiter here on YouTube, as well as on her website at maisonjupiter.com. Julie, welcome back to the show.
Hello. Hi, Janine. Hi, GC.
Hi, I'm excited to have you. What a weird effing day. Like, I don't know where to start with this show. It's so weird. And the more I researched tonight, the more I'm like, wow, there's so many angles to look at what's just happened and why perhaps it's happening. So folks, thank you so much for joining us here on this live interactive show. Please help us decode what the F is going on here. I'll try to bring your comments and your thoughts on the screen as we go along. But man, what a weird day. Let me start with you first, Janine. You were driving, I think, when I sent you this at 4:01 this afternoon.
Yeah.
It came on my screen. I was doing a lot of work too. I'm like, wait, that can't be. What the hell just happened? Let us know what you think here. First thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. My first thought was this is outing the bad guys. Like everybody came forward who was for this in an open way. And we just outed all those conservatives, all of those just posturing, all the people just posturing. I think it was a big outing.
Like an operation to get everybody to get off the fence here and show Canadians who they actually were. Is that it?
Yeah,
part
that's
of it.
what I thought.
Okay. Julie, first reactions to you. What the hell's going on?
Well, there's a lot of theories I think we can talk about surrounding that move. But I think my first reaction was to think that it was like a desperate kind of move to keep Trudeau in power and avoid maybe like the fall of the dark hats. So I don't know.
It's funny you mentioned that. We have a few slides here on the deck to discuss just that. So let me break it down. If you haven't seen the news here today, of course, at 4 p.m., Trudeau went live. Let me see if I can bring this link down to you guys here to explain that he no longer needed the Emergencies Act, which is very odd because, of course, on Monday night, this was passed by Parliament. The vote basically, what's the word in English? Approved, I guess, the Emergency Act in Parliament. And on the last couple of days' news, also, Deputy Prime Minister Freeland was also saying that she was going to make permanent the anti-laundering and anti-terrorist financing portions of the Emergency Act. So as of yesterday, it appeared that these people were fully in control and they could do exactly what they wanted. So big surprise today. Now, you guys can go and watch this video. I'll bring the link down in the chat. But what struck me was the Senate debate. I started watching that last night. And of course, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they had till tomorrow, Thursday, to vote in the Senate on this particular bill that was being proposed. Now, let's look at the Senate itself, the makeup of the Senate of Canada. And my first reaction when I saw Trudeau come out, almost hastily so today, with very little fanfare, I thought, wait a second, maybe he doesn't have the votes required to pass this in the Senate. Maybe the whip has indicated that they're not able to whip the votes necessary. And so in order to save face, and to not have a huge defeat at the Senate level, basically revoking the prime minister here, he decided on his own very quickly to rescind the order. Is that possibly what's in the cards? We're going to ask Janine about that. But if you go to the wiki page here, you're going to find this makeup of the Senate of Canada. And what's interesting in their new makeup, since 2014, I think it was, there was a big kerfuffle, a big turnover and a change of names. So we have the independent senators, the Conservative Party senators, the Canadian senators, the progressives, I guess could be called the old Liberal Party senators. And so when you look at this makeup here, it's not clear that they would have had a majority in the Senate. So let's start there, Janine. Let's ask the cards and see, first of all, is it possible that the Senate here was a big factor in this reversal? And we're going to go through many scenarios here tonight, and we're going to see how they all add up and how percentage-wise they could have made up this decision today. But let's lead into the Senate now and see if that was a big part of it.
That's Trudeau, and that's the Senate. So they were withholding he was, it looks like they were withholding their approval. Okay. And this is the past. So he figured it out. He already knew they were going to withhold. Near future outcome. So that's interesting. That's my good military, and or my Mr. T in the white hats, and or so maybe nodding to this is all a movie anyway. Maybe not that. But anyway, the Senate was going to withhold permission. They were going to say no, is what it looks like. And he surrendered. So he knew. So he capitulated to what they were going to do. So I think you nailed it already. Yeah. I said, nail it. Yeah, you already, what you said is true. He didn't have the Senate and he knew it.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting because just 2 days ago, I believe it was Monday morning, there was a senator who was quite vocal to the effect that he didn't agree with the implementation or the evocation of the Emergencies Act, only to a few hours later, you and I reported this on Monday night, come out and say, oh, I misspoke, I apologize, I misspoke. So clearly at that point, there was enough power or enough power in the whip's office to get some of these senators in line, but something happened between Monday and now today, where the senators, as you're saying here now, perhaps we're going to revoke these initiatives. Let's pull the cards and see what happened from Monday to today that might have emboldened the Senate to make this move.
Interesting. So it looks like it's a move that it's sort of like the good guys all of a sudden won. Or so maybe they did a little more digging to realize where people stood with this, or what people really thought about this, what the rest of the world thought about them. Because it looks like that's all in favor of the truckers. And that might have surprised them, maybe how little support in the world they had. Because it looks like it was like a win for integrity and truth. A win for integrity and truth for the people. Does that make any sense? And it has something to do with taking a pulse or taking some kind of, because this is intellectual process. So this could, and news, and looking at news articles, and I feel like this was all on purpose to just check how people would react to it.
Well, it does look like they were in damage control as soon as yesterday. This is CTV News on February 22nd, and they were saying that this newly formed committee to review the Emergencies Act invocation, to review the police action on all of this, we're going to take a security oath here, and it wasn't sure if this information would eventually be made public. There was debate to that in the Prime Minister's presser earlier today. So I'm curious if they were in fact polling and realizing how horribly wrong this was going, because again, last night, the RCP came out to say, oh, we're quickly unfreezing the accounts of people who have been frozen. See, nothing to see here, no problem. So they seem to have been panicking. Now let's get into perhaps two other reasons why they were panicking. In the last couple of days, we saw a lot of reports of people being worried about this last move and decided that perhaps they were going to take their money out of the bank. So just again, very fresh news. This was our minister here saying that banks would proactively freeze accounts in order to prevent a bank run. So they knew something was going on here on a big level. And I remember it was a Cliff. Cliff was tweeting also that he was getting reports from bankers or from insiders that bankers were absolutely freaking out at this last move by the government, and perhaps were putting pressure back on the government here to backtrack before things completely derailed. So let's ask the cards here too. Is it possible that the banking situation had also something to do with either the Senate changing their mind, or even the Trudeau government here having to walk backwards here very, very quickly? And while you bring that up, I'll remind the audience too of this video, and we'll get into why the military could be involved here, and I'll bring Julie in as well. But this was Dr. Peterson saying that reliable sources in the military had advised him to withdraw money from his bank, and that the situation was in fact a lot more dire than what it appeared to be in mainstream news. So something else was an undercurrent there to be evaluated. So Janine, were the banking officials putting pressure on the government as well here?
That's in the past. So people's bank accounts, some of them did get frozen. And some of what you were hearing, and maybe what that fellow was saying, and I shared that as well, but it looks like it could have been fear porn. Because I really don't see that with this. The death card is, this has all already been planned a long time ago, and this is all part of an ongoing operation. So it feels like we might still be seeing part of the movie here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I asked, why? To roust out the bad guys. So to further, maybe even bad guy bankers, maybe even one of my longtime viewers went to the bank. I won't say her name, her and her partner, and they did move banks today to a more localized bank. And the new bank they went to actually asked them what their political affiliations were, and was ragging on about the truckers and just ridiculous things they were reiterating from the mainstream media. And my suggestion is, if anybody does come in contact with that, find out who that banker's name is and write to their uppers.
Mm-hmm.
That's not cool.
Right.
Okay, so it's outing all of these people, like even people celebrating that the truckers got taken down. It's outing people who are, just misinformed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll bring that up in a second here. I did have a slide deck for that, but right now what I'm looking for, and it seems to have disappeared off my screen, and I find it absolutely interesting. There was a senator that came out maybe 30 minutes after the Trudeau speech, and now I can't find him on my screen, who basically said, so it was a male senator, and he said something to the effect that he was happy to see that the Prime Minister took his speech seriously in the Senate in deciding to revoke the Emergencies Act. So he was taking credit, at least partly taking credit. So we have fuel to the fire here, where the Senate might have, in fact, been voting against this earlier tonight. So if I can find that, or if guys, you can find that in the live chat, please send me the link and we'll share that with the audience. Let's go to the military side of things, Janine. Last week, well, first of all, recount for the audience here what you thought was going to happen either this Thursday, the 24th, or most likely on the 25th to Justin Trudeau, in the sense of where he might go and perhaps why that might be, in the sense that it was not why we thought it was going to be the reason why he would leave. Sorry to be cryptic, but let me cue you on that and explain to the audience what you meant by all of that.
Okay, well, I just remember looking at it, and I had the Wheel of Fortune, which is something totally different than we thought was going to happen. After the Emergencies Act, we got that gut punch where the Parliament voted it yay to it, which was a gut punch for sure. But then I looked at it, and it looked like, okay, this is an illusion of some kind, and it doesn't look like it'll end the way we think it will, because the Wheel of Fortune happened. And then I further looked at it, and it seemed to me that Trudeau, I just have to call him that, sorry. I know it's immature, but
I love it. Go on.
That he might actually be exiting out of politics on Friday. For some reason, I just got that energetically. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But it seems to me nothing's going to go the way we thought it was. And with that Wheel of Fortune, something totally different's happening. And it could have something to do with astrological things, because the Wheel of Fortune and or spiritual things, because that's kind of a karma card. Like the wheel is a major arcana, and it's like destiny. It's not his destiny to carry on, really.
Wow. Man, I'm at a loss for words, because obviously this is not going the way we thought. Like, nobody expected this today this huge reversal. And of course, let's just go back to the speech here. He said that, oh no, there's still a threat, but the current laws are sufficient to deal with the threat. And I was like, the current laws were sufficient last week also, Prime Minister. What the hell just happened here? So of course, he's not answering that question. And what was interesting also, before we get to the military part, not one reporter, unless I'm wrong here, I listened to the whole thing, maybe I got distracted. There was a lot of voiceovers because most of the questions were in French today from the reporters, which I thought was odd. And typically that is a tactic so that the Prime Minister doesn't have an English soundbite to be reproduced on air. So they're trying to mitigate here some of the damages of some of his questions when they front load all of the questions in French and have the translator repeat the Prime Minister's answers. So there is that was weird. But as far as I know, no reporter asked Trudeau here, okay, you're rescinding the act, but just yesterday Freeland said that this was going to be permanent in terms of freezing people's bank accounts who don't agree with the government. Nobody asked them if that was still going to be in place. Let's ask the cards quickly on that. Is this also falling by the wayside, or are they removing this one in order to be able to continue? I think maybe what the ultimate goal was to freeze people's bank's account. Is that still going forward? Or at least is that their intention?
So I think they have that as a hidden intention, or they want you to believe they have that as a hidden intention. So we got this psychological thing card here. So they want you to think, or it may come out later, that that's a hidden intention. Okay, but the outcome looks like it doesn't go that way. It looks like good guys win. Something more creative happens. So there's layers going on here. I think they want you to see that as, they want you to see how tricky these guys are. These two cards, they want you to see how tricky they are. They want you to notice what these guys do and how they do, how they've been getting away with what they've been getting away with. They've been taking our rights away for years without anybody yelling about it.
Well, that's, yeah. Let's talk about the military. Let's go back to the military part of what Peterson was just saying there. Is it possible that the military was waiting for this invocation to pass Parliament in order to maybe check one of their constitutional requirements to act and maybe remove a sitting government who was now hostile towards the population? And is it because of that Trudeau just stepped back here today? Or in part, again, there's a lot of factors here.
Interesting. Well, the military does look like they're because this is a sort of a protective mothering card and victory for the people. So they seem to be on the side of people. So that's interesting. And then we've got secretly. So they may not publicly announce that, but the Trudeau government probably knows that. Right?
Yeah.
So it feels like it might have, they didn't have to go all the way to announcing that, because this card comes really close to something but doesn't go all the way.
Okay. Let me see if I can bring this other piece in here. This gentleman here on TikTok, Total Sobi 123, is suggesting that perhaps we would have 10 days of blackouts starting tomorrow, I believe, on the 24th. Now, he's hearing this from contacts. Of course, it's non-validated or verified. Very hard to verify these things. But this could be in line to either Blossom Goodchild's reading, where we might have this weird world lockdown in order to do this massive. It would make sense, perhaps, that they would black out comms while they're doing that. And it would make sense also maybe that Trudeau would be trying to backtrack today, knowing that something was just around the pike here. So let's pull some cards on that. Is it possible that the military are going to be... Go ahead.
That card is the star. So that's off-world or energy. If anything, if there's a blackout, it seems to be connected to maybe a new form of energy coming in. The intention of a new form of energy. And I think it'll be shorter than 10 days. It'll be shorter than 10 days. And I don't think it's happening right away. But I do think something like that's going to happen. And maybe that person heard a version of that, maybe a scarier version of that. And they wanted to share it just in case. I understand, but that version that he shared has been going around for months.
Dr. Barbara Russo says, "Bring Julie in." I know it's coming. Thank you, Julie. Let's bring you in. Of course, this is your slide here with respect to this either power outage, internet outage. What do the alignments have to say about all of this? Bring this up to speed for the audience.
Okay, so every time we have a Mercury-Saturn conjunction, it can talk about a lack of communication, an outage of internet. Mercury is the planet related to communication, social media. Saturn is related to restriction, control by the governments also. So, and it is happening beginning of March, but there's like a wider orb of influence, and we're already in that orb of influence, I would say. But the peak dates are from February 27 to March 4. So this aspect is happening in the sign of Aquarius, which is the sign of internet. So it could very likely indicate either a power outage or an internet outage. And I would say worldwide, not because we had a question about Canada earlier, but I would say it could happen worldwide. I agree with Janine. I picked some cards today, and I think it's not going to be 10 days. I think it might be shorter than that. And I also think it's operated by the white hats. And it was interesting that you brought up, JC. There might be a link between what's happening in Canada on maybe this Friday, the 25th. We'll get onto it later. So I think there's a link between everything. So they're probably using this internet outage to work something up in the higher spheres, because I got the Two of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So deals and transactions taking place higher up, but also I've got in my astrology cards the 10th house, which is the house of power, of authority, and I also got the Leo card, so people in power. So it's kind of a chess move to replace some stuff, maybe change some communications, maybe do a little nettoyage, a cleaning of some social medias, also some type of information.
Whoa.
So so the orb of influence, it will be strongest this Sunday until next Friday, so the 27th until the 4th. Okay. And also that aspect also indicates more censorship. Last time we had that aspect, Mercury was retrograde and it was conjunct in Saturn. So I think you remember, Janine, you got your strike on YouTube on that specific date. Mm-hmm. So Mercury talks about social media. Saturn is more rules, more trying to get more control on what's the official narrative, what's going to be censored. So more censorship, yeah.
Okay, well, on that note, that ends tonight's broadcast. Here we're going to start talking about cute cats. Look at those amazing cats on YouTube. It's so amazing. I don't want to get a strike, and neither does Janine. Oh my God, I'm just having fun with you guys. Of course, we're going to get back to the show here. But what's interesting, Julie, about that slide, let me bring that back up here. You mentioned on this one here with your cards, the higher ups, and Janine had just pulled there the off-worlders. Janine, what do you make of this here? Do you want to pull some extra cards and bring some clarity to the situation about these internet outages or blackouts and how maybe what the intentions are of these off-worlders? We talked about maybe a cleanup here of some information, or is it a cleanup of the people who censored the information that's going to happen? Let's pull some cards there.
Well, see that Two of Cups? So there's the Two of Cups with the Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. So Two of Cups are deals already made in the past. So that feels like they made deals in the background. Those are background deals, shaking hands. So the bad guys capitulating. That's what I think, because the King of Pentacles is a good guy and he's really well aspected with that Two of Cups. So that's what Julie was saying. She was saying the good guy higher ups, because the King of Pentacles is also a king and he is a higher up king, obviously being a king. So good guy deals made, and that playing itself out. And then the other two cards, that chess move, I don't know that deck, but it looks really interesting. And even if you just look at it, chess moves, we know we got 5D chess going on. And we know that's been going on for a while. And then that looks like a really auspicious, isn't that the sun? What is that?
It's the Leo card.
Wow.
So Leo plus 10th house, it really talks about authority and people in power.
Yeah,
Really
chess moves, people in power. Yeah, so it feels to me like just exactly what Julie was saying. I mean, but let's see what my cards say. Let's have a look.
And guys in the chat, if you like what we're doing here and adding these astro cards also for some of the specific questions, let us know, and we'll try to do that more often. So let us know in the chat. Oh, wow.
So that can be people in power helping lesser able, right? So, and in a loving way coming from the heart chakra. So it could even be like spiritual energy and or ours, some kind of maybe even sibling energy. So in this kind of a question, we might say other countries' militaries helping us. US is like a sibling to Canada. So we're getting some kind of help, let's just say that. And it's coming from heart chakra. So in a good way, good for the humans. And it really puts the bad guys on notice. So it really tips the bad guys. So it's all for the better for the humans, whatever's going on.
Right.
So here we've got the Two of Wands. So safely, so moving something safely out of our energy field. Yeah. So Julie even mentioned that something's maybe being moved around or energy's being shifted around during that time while there's an outage. Something's going on for the good of humans.
Right.
Wow.
And you pulled also the off-worlder card.
Yeah.
And every time I do like a spread with the off-worlders involving them, I get the Six of Cups being like a older sibling type of energy protecting Earth. So I think it makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I love when you guys collaborate together. It puts different points of views together for us to better understand what's happening here. So thank you for that comment, Kay Robbins. I appreciate that also. Julie, let's get back here to that February 25. We had talked about it, I believe, last week on the big show with Woo Woo Dude, Janine, Jason Ford, and yourself, that maybe Friday could spell a disaster here for Justin Trudeau, but maybe for the government itself. Explain this slide here. What does that mean for the audience?
Yeah, so at first, when I looked at Canada's chart, I thought Friday would maybe be a resignation from Trudeau, but then I looked at it again and I wasn't sure anymore. So, but let me explain. So it is Friday. I looked at Canada's chart and the sun in the sky is going to be conjunct Canada's Jupiter natal position and also opposing Canada's Mars in the natal chart. So the sun, when it's in conjunction with another planet, in this case being Jupiter, the sun illuminates, so sheds a light on. And Jupiter talks about also law. It talks about karmic justice, and it's in the sign of Pisces in Canada's chart, so also divine karmic balance. So I thought, well, for sure, I think there's going to be an announcement made bringing back karmic justice to Canadians with that sun shedding a light on Canada's Jupiter. And also Jupiter in Canada's chart is ruling the third house, so communications. So that's why I said an announcement. Truth is revealed on a political scene because it's happening in Canada's fifth house, which is the house of politics, politicians. And the opposition to Mars, it's in relationship with the military. So either it's going to confirm the stance of the military working more for the people. So maybe it's going to be further revealed, or maybe they're going to get more involved because the government are going to be maybe breaking the law. So it might be something like that because Jupiter, as I said, it talks about also law. It's the planet of law. So maybe they're going to get involved because the Emergencies Act is illegitimate. I don't know. Possibility. And also I wrote, a new information might be revealed about the illegitimacy of the Emergencies Act. So these are all possibilities.
Wow. Okay. Janine, let's pull some further cards to get more details on that. Military, the unlawful, maybe also this idea that the Commonwealth would be null and void if we get the London Bridge is falling code here as well. Let's see what the cards can bring in all of this. And again, you were looking at Friday as a disastrous day for JT. You keep coming up with that in the last couple of days here, Janine.
Something goes around full circle. So something goes around full circle, and it's something that they've been very careful about putting forward. So carefully put forward. This is a long, slow process. So they've been doing this thing for a really long time, comes around full circle. So not exactly sure what that means. It's something undercover, something we don't know about. So I wonder if it's what I've been getting all along, which is there's a military shadowing all the governments, and in particular Canada and the US, UK, like Australia. I've looked at certain countries, and it's absolutely what I get. I don't know if I'm right, but that's what I get. So it's something that's coming around full circle. They've been carefully but undercover putting forward, and they're doing it, I think, for reasons to do something really carefully, because this guy slowly but surely does something because he wants to be really thorough and careful. And they've been really slow, thorough, and careful. They've been puppeting, I think, these governments. And here's in the past that brought it about. And I always get this. This is like my galactic helper card, or even like it could even be advanced humans, which would make sense to Julie, what she was getting. So advanced humans, like maybe living off planet, but we're humans to begin with. And they're from our future. So that's what I get about. And they've been helping, they're big helpers with what I call the alliance. So I feel like we might come full circle where we get to have a glimpse beyond the curtain at who's really running things.
It's like, it's so surreal when you think about the implications of what you just said. It's absolutely incredible. Wow.
Wheel of Fortune is going to change everything and cause for celebration.
I'm certainly ready for that.
Week. It's been a roller coaster week. Just think about it. We had butt punches. We got, all of a sudden today, everything got reversed. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah. Even like going saying, JC, you better rent a room in Ottawa for the weekend. I don't know. Is it going to be a party or what? I don't know. I'm not that far away. If something happens, I could obviously drive, but I need some downtime if I can. I was hoping to sleep this weekend. Julie, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I just said it would be great to have finally a cause for celebration. I would be down for that.
Yeah, I think we all are. And everybody in the chat also, give me a thumbs up if you're down for some good news here, because, man, it has been one heck of a ride so far. Yeah. But we're not done yet. We still have to, once this is all reversed, we still have to come together and rebuild what we want moving forward, and not let those guys rebuild what they were trying to build in the first place. I think that's the big one. JC needs a what? A
sleepcation.
It went too fast. I wanted to bring that up. If you can see
I got it.
Okay, there you go. It's sleepcation. Yes, exactly. Okay, let me bring up, somebody was asking about Tamara. So I will bring this up, but we're not going to read it, and we're going to discuss it very lightly. Again, seeing as there's weird censorship going on, the astrological alignments are not on our sides either. But there was a report here today that perhaps this particular person had met an ill fate, just put it that way. And now that was soon rebuffed by the fact checkers. Let me bring that up here. But what's interesting in all of that, if you go to that specific website that reported that earlier today, they seem to have been scrubbed from the web. Now, let me see if I can bring... Okay, if you go to that website, which I won't name, this is what you get right now. So it's funny. Typically, when the fact checkers come up, the original story stays there. But of course, the mainstream fact checkers come out with their versions of the fact, but they don't bother bringing down a whole website, and they don't bother also removing cache files. And this is what appears to be happening. Like if you This is the link here in YouTube. And right now, if you go to cache, I'll show you how to do that. Hold on, if I can do that here, cached. Even the cache file has been removed. And this is just a 9-hour-old article. So somebody's actively removing this information. So with that said, hopefully didn't get ourselves too much in trouble here. Again, this can't be verified at this point, but let's ask the cards. Was there any truth to that? Or is this just a fear-mongering to perhaps incite violence and discord or riots here in Canada? Of course, we don't want that. We want peace, just as we've seen from the Freedom Convoy in the last 3 weeks. We don't advocate any violence whatsoever here. But what was going on with that news story, Janine? Wayne Peak says, that's suspicious. Yes, I'm telling you, I'm an internet guy. That is a little suspicious here today. Go ahead.
Interesting. When I first looked at her arrest, it looked like she was part of the movie. I didn't really get she was literally arrested. She was some kind of movie script thing. Then they said they weren't giving her bail, which I found really weird because what she was arrested for was mischief. How can you not get bail for mischief? That makes no sense. Not maybe somebody tell me in the comments, does that make it, can that even make sense? That didn't make any sense to me. So this is still looking like she's not likely anywhere near any of these stories. I think she's actually staying with relatives. That's what that looks like. She's in hiding. She's staying with relatives. That's what I would get. And then this card was on the outcome. So I think it's somebody. So this is words and thoughts coming between you and your maybe mental state. Okay. Like what you said, Jean-Claude, maybe somebody's trying to incite something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't get she's herself is not coming up as somebody gone off the earth plane. I got secretive cards. You know what I mean? The card that you have to see, she's gone. We would have had to see that card, but I got this card. She's, I think, in a secret location.
Well, that makes sense. And I have to say also, I mean, murderers, rapists can get bail. So how does a mischief charge not get bail? And again, in the newspaper articles, it was quoted as serious charges. I'm like, they're not serious. Mischief is not really serious as compared to capital crimes. So okay, again, that's interesting. And for the government also, today the Solicitor General said that those investigations and applications in court were moving forward. And people asked him, well, you've just rescinded the order. Are you going to drop all of these cases? And he said, no. I believe they will eventually drop cases here because, again, mischief or not, there was a judge a week and a half ago who in court with exposition of fact decided that the protesters had a right to be there and that the cops had to return the stolen gasoline. So presumably another court here, when Tamara has her day in court, will come to the same conclusion. They might slap her with a mischief fine or a parking fine. I'm not sure what else they're going to come up with here. So that's interesting. But of course, the government is probably trying to save face here and trying to keep up the shenanigans in court for a little bit until such time as they maybe reach an agreement of some sort and try to dump it on a Friday afternoon news cycle so that everybody forgets what happens. That could very well be. Okay. Wow. Okay. Oh my God. What dedicated truth stories you are. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen, for that tip. I really appreciate that. Laura Bastoni. This is getting a little bit confusing. Yes, everybody else is confused. Hold on. Does Janine Julie see my meditation coaching biz starting to bring in cash? Things are getting tight. Okay. So Laura's asking if her meditation, let me see. Did I read that correctly? Meditation coaching business will work out. What do the cards have to say for her? And Laura, I don't think I could bring a Julie in because you didn't give me your sun sign and ascending, so it'll be hard for her to chime in.
A card here.
Okay, well, let's do it that way. That's very good. Let's start with Janine for Laura. Will her business work out here?
So she's got the right intention. Because this card believes, so believing in and intending and visualizing. So maybe she's made a vision board, or she has a visualization that she kind of goes to daily. That's a good idea. So if that's the case, keep it up. And then this card tells me that she's actually really smart and good at what she does. This guy gives really wise counsel. He's even got a slightly good sense of humor. He like the Queen of Swords also gives good counsel, but she's a little serious. This guy's a little more relaxed, and he's definitely really good at what he does. But we've got these two cards. Possibly not enough awareness out there of her services. So website, check your website, are you on Telegram? Are you on Instagram? Are you on those sort of modern ways that people look for this kind of thing? Like maybe needs to get a little more out there. Put it out there a little more, or check what you've said about yourself. Maybe you're undervaluing what your gifts are, because this is a page and that's a king. She's a king in her information. So she's really good at what she does. Maybe she's underestimating and not yupping it up enough.
That's interesting. Let me buy a few more seconds here to my friend Julie, because Laura just texted me in the Insider Access Pass Discord channel her rising sign and her sun sign. So I'm going to see if Julie can pull that up magically on the fly, as she was not prepared to do that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I got when I picked my astrology cards, and I'm going to put in the comments after the live, I'm going to put my, what's the name of my astrology deck? Because I saw some people asking in the chat.
Okay.
I picked the Scorpio card. So for me, Scorpio with the 8th house, and the sun is currently transiting your 8th house, and Jupiter and Neptune. So 8th house and Scorpio is related to doing your shadow work. So I think your business, if it's in alignment with what you think where you're going with your business, I think working with the shadow work, Kundalini energy also is a very good 8th house theme. Doing the big transformational work. So if you're going along those lines, I think your business is going to be successful. And also when you have Jupiter and Neptune in your 8th house, and there's going to be the conjunction between those two planets on April 12th. So it's going to favor you a lot. It favors everything that is esoteric. Also, psychologists, everybody that's doing like the big transformational work is very favored with this energy in the 8th house. So this is what I'm getting. And also Scorpio, for me, it talks about working on transcending your limiting beliefs. Maybe you feel like you're not good enough. Getting more self-confidence, because I think if you are able to do so, you're going to be able to help a lot of people.
Okay, very good. Julie, did you want to bring that your astrology chart on the screen so she can take a snapshot? Do you have it ready or not? If it's okay, we can go.
Yeah, well, I just have the chart for now. I can put it up. Yeah, sure.
Okay. And while we do that also, Andrea says, oh, there you go. Okay. So Laura B, if you want to take, she says, thank you all so much. So Laura B, if you want to take a snapshot of that, and then listen to what Julie again was saying, and you'll be able to find those alignments there. And speaking of those alignments, if you guys want to follow up on all of this astrological data here, a good idea to have your own personalized birth chart prepared by Julie here at Maison Jupiter. Julie, explain this product for the audience, and also let us know what the bookings look like here for your lovely sister, Sophie, who does the tarot readings.
Yeah, so if you would like to get your own personalized birth chart, I do them all by hand. And it is a digital print, so you're going to get a PDF of your birth chart in the color of your choice, and also a natal report sent to you in PDF also. It's about a week to 2 weeks delay. So if you haven't received it, check your spams, because you're gonna get a download email with your files. And for Sophie, the bookings are right now in the first week of April. So if you would like to book a tarot consultation with her, I suggest you do it very quickly, because she's very popular and she's really good.
Very good. And folks, there you can use BeyondMystic, one word, and that will give you 10% off either the birth charts or also the bookings with Sophie. So thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Next question. You guys are awesome. Georgia, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Will my son find his path? This is from Lakeside Laura. Will my son find his path? He's pretty down. Let's ask Janine first. So Lakeside Laura is asking about her son. He's feeling pretty down. Will he find his path and his perhaps soul mission?
You bet. You bet he will. So this is him. So he's really, really a strong, even an old soul with that strength card. And this is the question, like person asking the question, so the mother of, who's unnecessarily worrying, okay, which is easy to do as a parent. I get that, right? Mm-hmm. So, but he's actually a really strong person and excels in even hardship with that card. Okay, and here's the past. So he's got a lot of spiritual guidance, even in the past, the present, the sun. So he's absolutely going to find his path with that sun. And then the near future, I feel like he even has like some off-world energy helping him in particular right now. And his path might even come to him through a bit of a vision. This can be a healer card as well. So he might have some abilities in helping others sort of find themselves. But he's definitely an old soul and a strong personality. So I would say absolutely. He's just temporarily a little bit lost here, maybe some self-esteem stuff, and it's coming from youth. But in the big picture, his old soul will kick in, and he's got lots of help from the spirit world. They see him. They're backing him up.
Wow. You probably don't know this because you do so many readings, Janine, but you've read for Lakeside Laura before, and she has a lot of ET connections, both with her and her family. So you keep pulling that card, and you're right on.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. And Laura B, who we just read for, says, she just said in the Insider Access Pass, I have no idea what I would do without y'all. Sophie, great reading too, also. So thank you so much. Appreciate that, Laura B. Now, speaking of finding your soul mission, Julie, explain what we have on the chart here today. I was finally able, after I came back from reporting behind enemy lines, to put this pay-per-view product available for everyone here. So explain what's in this amazing Janine Investigates of the Starseed Envoy program.
Yeah, I was so excited we got to do this episode on my favorite subject, the starseeds. So we did that with Jen JC. It was such an interesting episode because it was all the questions I've ever wondered, and I got to ask them to Ginny. So I was very happy about it. So we're talking about the Starseed Envoy programs from multiple sources, multiple contactees' point of views. Also, the different federations. We're asking questions to Janine whether what's their purpose, are they true, the role of the Council of Five, what's the mission of the different type of starseed. We even go in the different bloodlines. So I thought it was an amazing episode.
Very good. And so far, the comments are through the roof. People are really enjoying this episode. What were your thoughts? This was a little bit of a different format for the Janine Investigates program. What was your thoughts on this, Janine?
I love it. I'm kind of funny because I like it when people just bring me questions. I mean, that's what I did for 35 years. They would come, and I'm the kind of reader who's like, okay, like I look at generally around you if that's what you want, but I love it when you come to me with specifics too. That's really fun. So I loved that Julie had all those questions, and Jean-Claude, you always bring really good questions, but it was really fun to I just like seeing what I get. What do we get?
And I was guided to put this subtitle here today, Awaken to Your Soul Mission. So perhaps for Lakeside Laura and her son, and for anybody else watching the show also, if you have questions about what your soul mission is and how perhaps you're connected to other starseed programs or light workers or light warriors, this episode might help you jog that memory. And a lot of the comments right now in the comment sections for the video is like, wow, I got huge downloads while watching this interview. So check it out, folks. It's beyondmystic.net. Pay-per-view. I'll bring the direct link here in the live chat for you guys here again. Now, Janine, you also posted this earlier today for your audience members. Explain what's going on here and what you're encouraging, why you're encouraging people here to spend some time to educate themselves here on this new system that is taking foot below the destruction of the old system here.
So that was before Turdo made his little announcement. Okay, this morning. So what I was getting was a lot of emails about, is my money safe? So from a lot of Canadians. Okay, so I was looking around that. And I actually did get the people that aren't maybe so safe were already likely gotten into, like, so they already probably got dung, and they were likely truckers, and they were likely or affiliated with the truckers. And or if they were people spending quite a lot of money or sending quite a lot of money to the truckers, so would have been assumed to be helping the truckers in a big way. And that turned out to be true. Later today,
Did we lose Janine there?
Later today, we heard that after a certain amount of money, now they're looking at you. So you would have had to send the truckers over 200. What I was getting for a lot of people. Anyway, so I just thought I'd clear some up, and also our money, and because there was that fellow going on saying there's going to be the darkness, so maybe it's a good tip to let your bank accounts. You need to move into am I frozen? You guys are frozen.
Okay, hold on a second. Julie, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, but Janine is freezing.
I think Janine lost her connection there. She seems to be buffering quite badly there. Janine, if you can hear us, try to, yeah, okay, now she's out. Hopefully she can log back in here. That was funny. So let me try to recap what the beautiful Janine was saying there. Again, because of all these risks and what we're hearing now, the outages, the bank issues we're getting, the fact that the banking system is about to change over here, all of this tying together, what Janine was suggesting in that video, and you can find it on her Sending Ravens. It was posted right here earlier today. Perhaps a good idea to invest a little bit of your time in educating yourself here on how to navigate this new system that is coming online now. Let's see what Janine is saying. Internet not working. Whoa, she lost internet. Okay. Okay, try to come on with your phone. Let me see if I can give her that link directly to her cell phone here and see if we can get her in for the last couple of minutes of the show here. So I sent her the link, guys, back again. And so, guys, coupon code for this right now. Joe and I were speaking this morning, and we wanted to help out the people who are on the fence about maybe starting this new educational programs here. So we wanted to give them a 10% discount code, BYOB10. And if you guys don't know what BYOB means, it means be your own bank. I was gonna have fuck Trudeau 10%, but I'm like, it's too negative. So like, let's do a positive coupon code. So be your own bank, of course, or bring your own booze to the party once you make.
Yeah,
some
I thought it was
profits.
related to Jenny's party that she's having this weekend. Hey.
Right. So
What?
it's not. So it wasn't bring your own booze, but it is be your own bank. I love that feeling. Okay, Janine, you're back. So I was explaining to people here. you're recommending at the very least that people educate themselves and get ready for what is to come here, and perhaps get together with other like-minded people also to speak about these things and help each other out, because there is a little bit of a learning curve. You mentioned that it could be a little bit difficult, or more difficult or more challenging the older you are. Our kids, of course, have this pretty easy, but for us older people, it takes a little bit more time. But what's interesting about this course is you can pause at every step of the way while we're doing the video. Julie, of course, did the video also. So you can take your time, rewind, watch it again, rewind, watch it again, until you set up your own exchange and your crypto wallet in a safe manner. And we also do talk about your wallet spread, which coins to choose and why, to at least get you started here in this game. So do go and check that out. Jeline or Julie, anything to add on that point before I pick up another question? We have a few more minutes left here.
Well, I was going to say, I suggest also that you watch the Beyond Crypto Woo that you guys make every month. So I did watch the January and also February. I think it's a good combination with the Panic to Own crash course, because also you can check month to month which crypto is going to do good, which one is going to be okay. So I think it was a good complementary.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. We actually get into specific coins and their movements. So once you're all set up, it's a good idea to know where they're going, so that you may be trading from one coin to another here to ride those waves, as Julie is saying. So that's a good point. And on that note, Janine and I will be recording the next Beyond Crypto Woo here in the next 2 days. I believe we're recording on Friday. And Julie, Janine, and myself will also be recording the next Astro Woo. Let me see if I can bring that one up on the screen as well. This next Saturday, so in a couple of days from now. So in the meantime, you can also save 33%. The coupon code there is SAVE33 on the February Astro Woo Finance. This, of course, is the Zodiac and Tarot put into one for your special personalized financial reading. Okay, let me see if I can get one last question, or maybe two. There's two. There's a bunch of questions in the Insider Access Pass. Janine, can you please update us on what's happening in Australia? Ricardo Bozy? ? Let's pull some cards on Australia for the audience members here. And we're also going to finish with Canadian travel soon. A lot of people are asking if they're going to be able to travel here in Canada. So Eileen, I didn't forget you. I'll be right back to you in a second here. So Janine, Australia first.
So Ricardo looks like he's part of what I call the good military. So we know he's an ex-military guy. And we know that he does nod to the white hats a lot. So I think he's connected somehow, or he has inside connection there somehow. And this is Australia itself. So it's kind of sad looking. There's a lot of sorrow around, like just some of the things they've pulled. It seems to be ground zero for the testing ground for how much can humans put up with. I mean, it's even worse than I think Canada, frankly. But we've got more and more and more people standing up. So millions, literally millions, more than 1 million people showed up in that place. That's a place that you had to travel quite a far distance. I can't remember the name of the place, starts with a C. But there's been people camping out there. And it's a huge organized situation, seems to be sort of organized by Ricardo Bozy and people that sort of work with him. Now, this was in the past. So what brought it on, really, I think, was they recognized that if they don't do something, and this is what Ricardo's always saying, they're doomed. Just like Canada, if we didn't do something, we'd be doomed. And you know what? We did step up. And I think a lot of our action is being watched, and a lot of how loud we honked our horns and cried for freedom, and how hard we partied in Ottawa. I think that was being watched. And I think all of that's being registered, and not just by bad guys, but by good guys. And I feel like Australia's really stepped up and even shocked their own people, how many people showed up at that place. So I feel like they're on their way to much better, like things will finally open up for them. Like there's going to be some really good things happen out of that. situation that's been going on for a couple of weeks there, sort of alongside what the truckers were doing. They had their own thing going on in huge numbers, and it hasn't stopped. It's only growing. So this feels like this is moving into new territory in a positive way. I feel like they're going to move their whole situation into a more positive place, which will be a nice break for them because they deserve it.
Very good. And you know, your connection is much better on your phone than it was on your computer, by the way.
Yeah.
Your voice is crystal clear. Okay, where were we at? 58 minutes. Okay, we have time to squeeze 2 in. So let's get the first one here by Eileen. Can we ask about Canadian travel, please? She's been asking a couple times, and quite a few more people in the chat also. So now that we have all of these provinces lifting the mandates here, March 1st, March 14th, and all that, last week in Saskatchewan, now that the Emergency Act is also revoked, will we see maybe the federal government also remove some of the restrictions here soon and let Canadians travel? That is the question for the cards. Julie, if you want to add any astrological stuff after, also let me know, okay?
So yes, I'm thinking about 2 weeks. We should see it. Let's hope that's days, but it feels like a couple of weeks. And the reason that it's going to take that long is there's a few other plays they got to do. So there's a bunch of stuff going on, psychological undercurrent stuff going on that needs to work itself out. So we got a few more things going on that I think the shadow government's working on, that before that can all officially be lifted. But you got good guy, like this is our benevolent leaders in the background. It's not just Turdo and gang. I think those guys are puppets. So yeah, this will get lifted. Just we'll need a little more patience.
Okay, very good. And the last question, Wendy. Silver question. When time comes, who will buy the silver when it is high? When it is high, silver. Okay. Let's generally speaking ask first again, where's silver going here? And I'll answer the second part as to when you sell, because there's a lot of confusion about that. So I'll try to answer that on a technical perspective, but give the audience members who have not had the benefit of seeing your readings what we expect here in terms of movement for our precious metals.
So silver this is it here. It's in this safe place, and we're looking at the future of, so we're looking at the possibility of it really bringing in some coin for us, you know what I mean, with that card. And then this is it. So it's really undervalued right now. That card's really undervalued. Here's right in the middle. This is in the atmosphere. So there's big and good news coming out about it, maybe even daily here. With that card. It's been a really long time undervalued because this is in the past. So we've got that Temperance card. It's almost like the universe has been waiting to let go of the reins on this, because I feel like it's going to be what helps a lot of people financially, and maybe like I almost feel like it was given to us because it is something you could invest in with very little money. Even like if you even bought 25 pieces of silver right now, it wouldn't set you back thousands of dollars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That wouldn't even be $1,000. So even if you had like $400 or $200, you could still buy a little bit of silver for yourself. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's something that was given as something to a sort of a helpful thing for humans, and it's been kept low, not just by the bad guys because they're trying to hoard it, but it's actually working to our advantage now too. So here's in the next 3, so I'm thinking weeks or months at the most, you should see a really big, this is like building on a firm foundation. So you're going to get some money back for it, like a lot of money back for it. And here we've got, so there's something around the good guys around this. It's funny because these cards are really integral. There's something about silver that is almost like, I'm thinking there's something spiritual about it. I know that sounds weird, but it's going to be used for a lot of things in the future. And I feel like that's why if you do got a little extra coin, you might want to grab a little silver, because it's going to be worth your while. It's going to be worth, it could even set you up with a card like that.
Right. And to answer the question, who's going to buy your silver or when do you sell your silver? Let me go with the who's going to buy. Once the system changes over, everybody will quickly learn about the value of gold and silver. It has been removed from our monetary system, but it is coming back in a big way. And that's what Janine keeps coming up with when she pulls cards on this new financial system. So we were all going to be re-educated on the value of silver. So finding people who will recognize the value of it and maybe perhaps want to exchange other goods for silver won't be as problematic as it is now, number one. Number two, you can always exchange your silver and your gold any day, anytime to any broker anywhere in your city. So you're always maybe at maximum 24 hours away from exchanging your gold or silver into fiat dollar if you need to make a purchase in fiat dollar. So never be worried about having physical silver and maybe having an emergency where you have to fix your roof or your toilet or whatever. This is not the problem. And again, as people educate themselves here on gold and silver, that's going to become more evident. When to sell? Well, that will be up to you. There's a lot of analysts out there who are saying, hold on to your silver for dear life here, because as the system changes over, a lot of these old powers that war are going to try to grab the silver from you at perhaps $400, $500, $600, knowing very well that it's going to go into the thousand and at parity with gold. So if you need to sell silver for emergencies, try to sell little amounts. And this is why we have these coupons and discounts for the audience members here for a smaller denominational silver. So as opposed to buying just the one brick of silver, here, if you have smaller pieces, you're able to sell into the market as the price is rising. So this week, the specials from the Miles Franklin affiliate program here is the 1 ounce silver kangaroos at $3.99 over spot. Really great deal. And again, here, those smaller denominations of the Noah Arcs silver coins are also available. So that's beyondmystic.net/silver. And for the Canadian audience, the Krugerrands, the 1 ounce 2022s are on sale for $5.69 over spot Canadian. Let me bring that link also down in the live chat for you guys. Julie, anything you want to add? We had two things here: travel in Canada, and also here on silver, where it's going and what your thoughts are astrologically speaking.
Travel in Canada first. I think we might have something coming up, a new announcement at the end of next week, because I'm looking at the beginning of March with Jupiter is going to be very favored in the in Canada's chart, and Jupiter is the planet of international travel. So I'm thinking maybe beginning of March. So Janine said 2-3 weeks, I think 3 weeks. So it would make sense.
Okay.
Let's hope we're right. And for silver, what I've been seeing for a while for silver is that it would gain value for a long period of time, because when the nodes shifted in the Scorpio-Taurus axis on January 18, they're going to stay in that axis for 18 months, so until mid-2023. And I think silver is going to be highly favored and is going to gain a lot of value for those 18 months, because the moon, which represents silver, is said to be exalted in the sign of Taurus, and Taurus will host the North Node. North Node shows what's going to gain value, so I think silver will be big. As for a specific date, I think April 30th onwards is going to be very good for silver, because April 30th we have a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. And I think it's going to shift the whole precious metals industry. I think it's going to gain a lot more value, and especially silver, because of Taurus being the sign where the moon is exalted. So silver is exalted in the sign of Taurus. So I would say end of April onwards for the rest of the year, and even 2023, it's going to gain value.
Okay, very good. And for the silver giveaway, we have our two winners, and one of them has already received his 100-ounce silver bar. And Stephanie was supposed to receive it today or maybe tomorrow, but I didn't get her picture on time. So perhaps on next Monday, I will be sharing with you both of those amazing winners holding their 100-ounce silver bars here. This was, of course, a draw that Janine and I wanted to share with you, the beautiful audience. Coming up soon, the Galactic Warrior. I'm wearing my t-shirt now. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring that on the screen for you guys. I'm wearing the t-shirt now. This is one of the examples here of our swag that's coming up on the Beyond Mystic shop. So stay tuned for that. That will be available very shortly. Of course, I'm having fun with that picture. And of course, the links to the Beyond Crypto Woo Panic to Own are in the description box below and also the top of the comments. So too is the new episode of Janine Investigates a Starseed Invoice with special guest Julie at Maison Jupiter. Folks, this was Trudeau Revokes the Emergency Act, a special update. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe here on Sending Ravens and also Tarot by Janine. And go check out Julie here at Maison Jupiter on YouTube and also on the web at maisonjupiter.com. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow with a Sherry Div Band for a special episode of the Quantum Healing that will be at 8 o'clock Eastern. And of course, on Friday night, we'll be back with my friend Jason at 4 for the Wacky Woo. And it could get really, really wacky. I love you guys. Have a great evening. And we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.